Hey guys, welcome back to Cephalon Cast. You know, Hildy, you know what really aggravates me?
What's that?
When you get killed by your own teammate in Fortnite.
Yeah, toxic players are abundant in Fortnite, dude. Like, just the other day, you know the concussion grenades?
Yes.
Okay, and you know the 50v50 mode?
Yes.
Okay, you know the supply drops fall pretty frequently, right?
Oh, tons.
Yeah. So, I had white guns, no ammo. I needed a supply drop. I was the first one to make it to it. I built up. This motherfucker comes up behind me, builds over me, gets to it. I'm able to get I'm able to get to the crate as he opens it and pick up everything, right? He gets so butthurt that he takes one of those concussion grenades, throws it at my feet, throws me off the hill that we were on, and I die immediately. Toxic players.
Yeah. I mean, just the other week, like last week, I was playing with our friend Myth, and in 3 back-to-back games, we had people do it to me and Myth. Like, it's just, I don't know what the thought process behind, hey, I'm just gonna kill my teammates. Like, really?
Yeah. When especially when you're in a mode where numbers matter.
Oh yeah.
Like, they matter a lot. But
you know what it is? I have a strong feeling that some YouTuber or Twitch streamer did that on stream and thought it was funny, and then, you know, all these little 12-year-olds
for sure.
were like, oh, I'm gonna do that because it's funny. But it's not.
It's pretty irritating, and I mean that's what they're going for. Like they're trying to be irritating. We really do it, but I mean, like, you can do good things with the concussion grenades.
Yeah.
You know, like, you can if somebody has like one of those porta-forts and they put it down, you can throw the concussion grenade at your feet and it'll shoot you up to that level and you can get inside of it.
I just like taking it down from the bottom.
Oh, that too.
Seeing one of those goes down is pretty entertaining, especially when there's like 5 people in there.
Oh yeah.
They're not expecting it.
No.
But on the topic of Fortnite, season 4 is about to come out.
Yep, superhero themed.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Oh yeah. I'm hoping the theory that I've heard where everyone's heard, like, the meteor's gonna hit and it's gonna destroy Tilted Towers.
I hope so.
I don't think it's going to destroy Tilted Towers. I think it's going to bring with it another city, and I forget who was bringing it up, but it was, I think Dusty Depot is going to get destroyed. So then you have 2 cities, like an East Coast and a West Coast. So Tilted Tower and whatever the hell this other one's going to be on either side of Loot Lake. And it'll kind of like open up the map a little bit more, kind of like bring the players to either side, not just everyone going to Tilted Tower and 40 people dying within the first 2 minutes of the game.
Yeah, but at the same time, I mean, generally meteors bring destruction, not a whole separate town behind it.
But this is a special meteor. They data mined. They data mined some sound files, and one of them's labeled like opening a meteor. So like there's I think there's gonna be a mode where meteors hit and it's like a supply drop, and like you can like loot it and get guns and ammo and shit.
Yeah. It'd just be nice if it destroyed Tilted Towers, because then that would also.
I mean, I don't like that would also, you know, bring down the level. But
yeah, I mean, it would reduce everyone going to Tilted Towers.
Exactly.
But that I mean, I don't think you should. It'd be nice if it destroyed Tilted Towers, but I don't necessarily think that you should take away Tilted Towers just because some people don't like Tilted Towers.
Yeah.
I mean, some people solely play the game just to drop in there and just
to go to Tilted Towers. So like, they've added places on the map before, right? We're like, okay, there's a big empty zone here. There's a couple like random houses. Let's put its own like little zone there, little town, like Lucky Landing, right? Like, that wasn't in the game prior to like week 2 or something like that of season 3, something like that. But like, it makes more sense to me, like, because Dusty Depot alone, like, at most has like 2 chests in it between 3 sheds. Like, there's not a lot of loot there, so just, you know, destroy it, build up a city. There you go.
Yeah. I also heard that they're kind of teasing the potential for a supervillain themed skin.
So we already know there's going to be 2 superhero skins and 2 supervillain skins, which to me means, one of each gender, obviously, and then whatever the hell they come out with the weekly skins in the store, because I'm sure we'll get a couple new ones. They just came out with a new one for it was the male version of this other skin that I have. What the hell? It's the one with like the llama unicorn and rainbows and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So like, yeah, they're doing well.
Yeah. I mean, either way, if you look at it, regardless of what happens, if it falls under either theory, I think they're trying to balance out the game a little bit more, spread it out more. So the players that don't necessarily like dropping straight into the Tilt Towers and getting destroyed in like 5 seconds, can have a bit more fun playing before like. I mean, you can when that many people die at the beginning of the game, and let's say you drop into prison and no one else drops into prison, well, you're gonna have to wait a bit before you see combat.
Oh, exactly.
So if you spread that out a bit more, it could be constant fighting. But yeah, I mean, props to Epic for trying to introduce new ways to balance a game. Like, it's kind of hard if you think about it to balance a battle royale type game.
Oh, especially like whenever it's so RNG based.
Yeah.
Like, you don't know what kind of guns you're gonna get. Like, okay, you have a chest that's gonna have white shit. Like, you don't know what you're gonna get. So
like the only way to balance it is just to kind of, I don't want to say control, but heavily influence where people will go.
Yeah. And like they can do that with the terrain.
Yeah.
So yeah, makes sense. Like to me, it makes perfect sense, because like Dusty Depot is the exact same distance from Loot Lake that
Tilted
Towers is. So it's like, makes sense. Just destroy Dusty Depot, build a city, and bam. And we'll find out in a couple days. I think the season 4 is probably going to start on Thursday whenever they do server maintenance, I would think.
Probably.
Because the season ends on like Tuesday.
Yeah. It's either going to be introduced that same day that it ends or the following patch day.
Yeah.
So see with that. But speaking of patches and updates, Cora finally got an update.
Oh yeah, she did.
So just kind of looking at what they changed. So biggest change that I like is that her Kava is now the passive and just will stay out. It's not time restricted.
Yeah, Venari. That was like that was one of like the biggest things with me, where I was like, why would you make the cat lady frame that's supposed to have a permanent ally not be permanent? You know what I mean? Like it's like,
yeah.
Like why would it be summonable?
But
yeah,
be restricted.
Exactly. Like this is a good change. All right, so Whip Claw now benefits from the melee combo counter, and all her casting times have been shortened across the board.
So overall, pretty good. Pretty good fix.
D knows what they're doing whenever it comes to listening to the constructed feedback
from the players.
Yeah. Like it's I know we really didn't offer any insight into how it would be fixed.
Oh no, not at all. It's like, it's broken.
The last podcast, it was just like, it's broken. I like the original concept. Jenny,
what is love?
Love is a whip and chains.
Yes, it is. And speaking about whip and chains and other BDSM things,
did you see Bricky's fast frame for Cora? Oh my god. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but Cora and Arrow excite me.
That's probably one
Did
of my favorite fast frames.
Did you see the theme coming on these last 2 frames? We had Harrow, Chain Boy. We have Cora, the whip girl.
Yeah.
I'm not against it. I'm just saying.
Hey man, I mean, if you're into it, just be into it.
Just be into it. We don't kink shame.
No.
No, we don't kink shame. Okay.
I do. You fucking weirdos. But they also fixed Strangle Dome.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
Casting animation's better.
Which is bullshit. I feel that the complaints that I heard about, Strangle Dome is confusing because of how the casting animation is bullshit. Because like the animation does not affect where this stuff like comes from, right? So yes, if she's pointing, it doesn't mean that the Strangle Dome is going to appear where she's pointing because it's obviously coming out of you. So now they redid that, so she's not pointing, and it's still coming out of the same place.
Okay, so I get that. I see your argument. However, people were confused as to like why it wasn't a placeable spell. So it was like they're like, well, why can't I just put the Strangle Dome like up on a wall or like set a trap almost, right? Like why can't I direct it? And apparently, when they were making Korra, originally Strangle Dome was designed to do that, but the way that Strangle Dome opens up and everything, it was funky.
Yeah.
And it would like cause a whole bunch of errors and different like, it was just better for it to like come out of her and just like around her. But
well, yeah, I can see that. I hope one day they can.
I am okay. Yeah, I am okay with a casting animation change. I'm all right with that. If it makes more sense to people and people can more efficiently play her, fine. I don't care. Not a big deal for me. She still sticks her butt out whenever she uses Whiplash.
That's the only important thing here. That's the only important animation in this entire game. But
they seem to fix Venari's AI a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Says she fights independently until she receives a command.
Cool. So it's
basically
a Kavat.
It's just another Kavat.
Except you can't control, at least from my knowledge, you can't control the Kavat like a normal Kavat to go.
No, you can't. You can't control any of the pets.
I'm fine with that. Then, like, her cat is the only one that can do that because she's, cat lady.
She's supposed to be cat lady, right?
Yep.
I do like the idea of like her having like potentially two Kavats now.
Yeah.
Like that's cool. I like that. But speaking of Kubros,
yeah,
Jack's just chimed in with a cough.
Over there dying.
You're such a good boy. Go back to sleep, buddy. There you go.
But in addition to core changes, they also made some onslaught changes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I think one of the big things is they removed the drop chance for her from the elite mode.
Yeah, which is good. I mean, it was lower from the elite mode anyway, so it made sense to just remove it.
Yeah.
Like, okay. Like, normal onslaught mode is still enough of a challenge.
Yeah.
Like, and it's gonna take a little bit to grind for her still, but yeah, we'll see.
Looks like they also added some more higher level enemies from different So like normal, you have level 80 through 100 in zone 15, level 110 through 130 in zone 20, and then 130 to 150 in zone 25. And this is the normal one.
All the way up to 280.
Well, that's 280 in the elite.
That's the elite, yeah.
Yeah. That is... I'm not ready.
I mean, we needed a challenging mode. That's the game's been missing that. And they talked about on the dev stream about the endless modes and how they're working towards trying to get a happy medium between like people that jump on and do like one full cycle of A, B, C, and then get out of the mission and then come back into it. Because realistically, like, there's no reason to stay,
yeah.
right? It's just enemies get harder technically the reward is that your affinity levels, the enemies are harder, the affinity you gain is more, the focus you gain would be more, but like they want to give people incentive to stay longer, but at the same time they don't want to force people into thinking that they need to play for like an hour to get what they want. So,
well, you have two ways you can look at this. You can look at this from the farming perspective, like trying to get Cora, which obviously the better way to do that would be to go in, and then after you complete that first A, B, C, leave, then come back in. Yeah. That's just the more efficient way to farm. But then you also have the other side of it where this is now an endless mode that these things get harder. So people will play that just for the fact of like the challenge.
Exactly. But like some of the like reward changes they were like coming up with, or they were brainstorming, is like maybe getting rid of some of like the cheap rewards from like rotation A, like after you get to like the 20-minute mark. After that, it's like rotation 8 no longer drops credits or endo, like, so all the other rewards you get a higher chance of getting them, right?
And this would be like higher levels, or just in general?
We're talking like first rotation onwards, so like that would give you incentive to stay to like 25, 30.
Yeah,
like, so especially like if you're trying to farm for something that's in loot table A or B, it makes sense to it would make sense to stay longer at that point, so that you would have a higher chance of getting that reward.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I like that they're at least thinking about it, because the AABC reward system has been lackluster for a while, honestly. Like, it's like, what is it, like 5,000 credits for like the one thing?
Oh,
like, it's
sometimes it's not even that. Sometimes it's like, 1,500 credits. I can buy so much with this.
Yeah, it's like
50 endo. Nice.
Yeah, like these I don't want to say useless, but just not very rewarding rewards.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's other ways, like I can go do a mission for half the time and get more money.
Exactly. Like there's the biggest problem that they're facing right now is that there are more efficient ways of farming.
Yeah.
So it's like it's kind of they see it as a problem, and they're working to fix it, which classic DE, they're always trying to improve Warframe, which I'm happy with because it is my favorite game. So yeah.
One of the things that I see in this week's hot fix is that the daily focus limit has now been increased based off the formula, which is now 250,000 plus mastery rank times 5,000.
It's still gonna be a slow grind.
I mean, yeah, but you have a bigger pool to that, which I don't know. Maybe I had not heard about this until I just looked at this, so maybe not a lot of people know about it.
Yeah, I remember they brought it up in the dev stream.
Okay.
But, the first time that they raised the cap of focus, I didn't know about. So yeah.
I mean, maybe
get working on that mastery.
You can increase the limit, but maybe work on increasing the drop rate
of focus.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Onslaught's supposed to be that focus farm now.
Okay.
So like, what I would hope that Onslaught eventually leads to. So like, your syndicate rep, right? Like, that's something that you log on, you play like 4 or 5 missions, it's capped.
Yeah.
Right. I hope that it gets to the point in Onslaught where you can get good enough in Onslaught where you log in, play 2 rounds of Onslaught, and your focus is capped. Like that would be
insane.
Huh?
I said that would be insane. I mean, look at it right now. That's a base 250,000.
Yeah, and then 5,000 per master rank, and the higher, like, I get like a few runs right? Like, I don't want to have to cheese the system with a DPS frame like Mesa, Equinox, or Ember just to get my focus cap. And even then, whenever you're cheesing the system, presently, it still takes way longer than I feel it should.
Yeah. But, I mean, if you look at that kind of... I look at focus as being more in-game stuff.
Well,
right?
it's certainly like the end game grind.
Yeah.
But...
So I'm kind of fine with it, like, not being quite as fast as Mastery is. Because if you really try hard enough, you can blow through Mastery pretty quick.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean...
Plus, I mean, the rewards that you're getting from the focus are really good.
For the most part.
So,
it depends on which focus school you're in.
Yeah, it depends on which school you go with, but even then, I think the rewards for that kind of like it's a good divide between the amount of time that you have to put into it for the reward. I feel like if you make the reward easier to get, then you might have to kind of drop down the effect of the reward a bit.
I mean, this is Warframe.
Oh yeah,
everything's OP.
I forgot about that. Except Atlas.
Except Atlas. And if you get a really good Riven mod for a pretty terrible gun. I saw this one video. Guy got a Riven mod for Aclato. It was like plus 415 damage. It took him the entirety of all of his ammo to bring down a level 100 gunner. Corrupted gunner.
Jeez.
Yeah. Like, and that was like full build, like with the Riven in place. The rest of the build looked good. And it was like, this is the max damage this gun can put out. Took every fucking bullet. Like, legit, every bullet. Like, and that was headshotting.
Well, I don't know. I feel like games like this are... I mean, Warframe is just a grind in itself, and it's what adds to the game, and what gives the player like the longevity. Like,
yeah,
you know, you're not gonna be done with Warframe for a good while.
No,
Someone that might log in and play a couple hours a day they're not gonna max out their mastery. They're not gonna max out their focus anytime soon.
No. So with my new account, like I'm trying to do it as efficiently as I can, and I'm trying to speed run to like, let's see how far I can get within 50 days, right? Like that's like my mindset with this new account. But like, that being said, it's like there's so much content.
Yeah. Like
it takes all, like, you have so many guns to do, you have so many frames to farm. Like, if you're a new player coming to Warframe right now, like, it can be a little overbearing, I guess, but
yeah. I mean, I feel like that can be the case with most games that have been established for a while that have a good bit of content.
Yeah.
New players coming into World of Warcraft are just like,
oh yeah, that's
God.
Terrible. Especially if they do the level boost and they have no idea what the class is supposed to do.
I do not recommend anyone use the level boost if they do not know how to play the game.
No.
It's you play your first character, you get that maxed out, you get an idea of what the game is about, and then you go back and use your level boost. See, now I made that mistake. I started playing Guild Wars 2 with my brother-in-law.
Okay.
And I bought like the deluxe edition because I'm stupid.
They came with a character boost, I think.
It did. I had no idea how to play Guild Wars, though. My mindset was, I play World of Warcraft. This is nothing. So I boosted the character, right? And I'm just sitting here, I'm like, all right, I just kind of have to figure out like the rotation and the build for this. And I start researching the builds for Guild Wars, which is so much different than like building a character in WoW. You don't have like this, even the talent trees that they used to have in it are more simpler than Guild Wars. Like, so I was like, well, okay, shit. And there's not as many guides as there are for like Warcraft. So I'm trying to find something. Mm-hmm. And then I finally get that set up, and I'm looking at like the rotation. The rotation's weird because the rotation isn't a normal rotation either. I get this set up. I think I'm good to go. And my brother-in-law's like, yeah, let's go do some in-game content. And I'm like, okay, well, probably not gonna run something like the equivalent of like a raid. We will be doing like a dungeon maybe, right? Mm-hmm. No, it was essentially what I can kind of compare this to now. Guild Wars equivalent of like a Mythic Plus. So, okay. As a new player who has no idea what's going on, I do not need to do it. Yeah, I don't need to be there.
Yeah.
But, no, I mean, just like I said, well-established games have a lot of content in them most of the time, and it can always be kind of daunting to new players.
Yeah, of course,
coming into it the first time.
Like I've said before, I think Warframe is in a good place right now as far as like new players coming in.
Yeah,
like you can pretty much figure it out. I would think. Again, this is like a veteran trying to look through newbie eyes, but it used to be way more confusing.
I would also like to caveat that you played this and now you're thinking that it's a bit easier to learn. But you've also played Monster Hunter, and you like Monster Hunter World. And Monster Hunter World is set up like a lot of Japanese RPGs where it's so much stuff that you like finite details that you can go down into.
Oh yeah,
like way over the top.
Well, because we're not getting Monster Hunter World to PC anytime soon. I don't think they only have a release date for it yet.
I've not seen anything.
Exactly. It was supposed to be like at the end of summer, which is like August, but like that's gonna come out around the same time that the next Warcraft expansion comes out. So
yeah,
we'll see. But yeah, that new game Dauntless, which is a Monster Hunter game,
that looks pretty good.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah. Like you never played a Monster Hunter game.
No.
But you're excited for Dauntless.
Yeah, I don't. It's not that I don't like Monster Hunter. Like it seems like a game that I would enjoy. I just in like the 10 minutes of me looking at this this beta for Monster Hunter World, I was just like, I have tried too many games like this where I just don't appreciate to the fullest, and I'm not going to get too far into it. Like I have a couple Sword Art Online games at the release that it's almost on that level. And it's to the point of, do I really want to spend 20 minutes trying to sit in my inventory looking at like, well, this weapon could do this, but maybe I should craft this one because it has a different stat that would affect this thing in this scenario. No.
So, all right, I see where you're coming from. So, as a Monster Hunter veteran, I can tell you Dauntless is going to be it's going to be a little overwhelming, I think, at first, but eventually like you'll find a weapon that you like, you'll learn what you can and can't do with it, and how that relates to each specific monster that you're going to go hunt. So
I mean, I'm down for a bit of that, but I'm just saying, I've talked to several people about who have tried like Monster Hunter World, and they've all had the same sort of agreement that it's like, because in the beta you were just thrown into this first mission. It's like, okay, well, you need to bring a weapon, and then you open up your inventory and you have like 30 something weapons, and it's like,
well, that was in the beta.
Leaf-bladed spear, or a broadsword, or a long sword. Well, I'm not like it doesn't really break it down.
Yeah,
like just being thrusted in like that. Obviously, Dauntless is it'll explain it to you when you go. Like anything else, like
yeah, should anyway. I haven't actually played. I didn't play the closed beta. I'm excited to play the open beta, which comes out May 24th.
Yep.
Which is the Thursday right into that holiday weekend. So, we'll be playing a lot of that.
Yeah.
But
we'll see how it goes.
I think you'll like it. Me and Myth will probably cling to that game for
I'm
a
looking
minute.
for a new game.
You're looking for a new game? Well,
Yep.
one's coming out.
Yep.
And it's free to play, and the developers, what is it, Phoenix Labs? Phoenix?
I don't know. I don't ever pay attention to developers.
Okay. So Dauntless is being produced by Phoenix Labs. Okay. And they've gone on the record saying that they want to have a fair free-to-play model like Warframe does. So, no loot boxes, no buying power, no severe advantages, right? You can give them money. I'm sure they're going to have like cosmetics and stuff.
Yeah.
That you can, of course, like that would make sense in a game like this, because with Monster Hunter, it's like every monster has its own set of armor and weapons associated with that monster. So it's like it would make sense to like put in like you really like the way that this armor looks and you want that look on your character, but you want the effects of a different armor set. So like it would make sense to like, okay, I'll pay some of the premium currency so I can maintain this look while I still benefit from other armor sets. Like that would make sense to me.
Yeah.
That I'd be willing to pay whatever for it. Hopefully they're not overpriced with their premium currency, whatever it ends up being. But yeah, like
So looking at it, if you look at like their sort of founder packs that they're selling right now, it seems very similar to kind of how Fortnite sells its stuff. So a lot of it is cosmetic.
yeah,
You can get like different titles and
yeah,
not really anything that seems like super groundbreaking.
no,
I think
okay.
I think that they might have an XP booster.
I believe it's like a so Monster Hunter games. Whenever you kill a monster, you loot the monster and you get certain things from it. So I think one of their boosters is you get more. And I like you might be able to get the rare stuff. No, I don't think they did that. I think it's just you're able to loot more. So like effectively that would take down the time it would take you to like build the armor set or the weapon or whatever. But like that's not game breaking, that's just speeding up. And Warframe does that.
Yeah, Warframe does it.
Yeah. So it's like
I mean, Fortnite just gives it to you.
yeah, pretty much. But I mean like Fortnite doesn't have any like gameplay effectors. Yeah,
I mean,
it's just like it's solely cosmetic.
Yeah, like your level means absolutely nothing.
It means nothing at all. And once you get all the rewards for that season, there's no reason to play outside of you just want to play the game. So, yeah.
But no, I could see it doing well. I think a lot of free to play games are, at least like big ones that are being pushed out, are kind of wanting to have that decent model, especially with what have been happening with like EA and everything.
Oh yeah, all the loot crate backlash.
Yeah.
Did you hear what happened to Paladins?
Wasn't that the Overwatch ripoff?
So it is and it isn't, in my opinion. But they had like a solely cosmetic loot crate thing, whatever, or like you could get these like. No, so they had a cosmetic loot crate, right? And then they changed it very similar to how you could buy the power in Battlefront 2.
Never played, but sure.
Oh, Battlefront's the Star Wars game, right?
Yes.
Okay, so Battlefront 2, what their loot crate model was that you could essentially buy power.
Okay.
Like you needed specific things, like specific cards or whatever, chips, schematics. You needed specific things to upgrade your characters. But the only way you got them was in crates. All right. And then they made the grind for the crates really annoying to get.
Oh yeah.
So it's like, all right, this is going to take forever and you might not get what you want, or you can pay $100 and you might get what you want, right? So Paladins had a similar thing. Like they did this change like in the middle of the EA controversy too, where they had like these card upgrades for your different character classes and stuff. That like it was power. Like they were just selling power. But yeah, they didn't keep it very long.
I mean, I wouldn't really put much thought into a game that's blatantly ripping off another game. It's a clone, and I wouldn't. It doesn't shock me that they're trying to make more money.
It came out in development around the same time that Overwatch did, so it's kind of hard to say. Like, yeah, they have similar character archetypes.
Oh no,
that are present in other games, but
like
the big knight dude that has a big shield.
I know. I'm saying, like, those characters are blatant ripoffs.
Overwatch has an archer. Paladins has an archer. I've never actually played Paladins.
I won't.
I've heard good and bad things about it. Like, I've heard that it's better than Overwatch because it has more than, like, 3 fucking modes.
No, you want to know why people say it's better than Overwatch? You don't have to buy it. And those people are like, oh, well, I don't have to spend money, so this game is already better. But is it?
I mean, that's a solid argument, honestly. Overwatch isn't expensive, but
no, it's not. You don't even. So here's the thing with Overwatch: you buy the game, and you don't need to spend any more money at all. You can spend money on the cosmetic loot crates, but you're also given loot crates when you level up. So there's really no reason that you need to buy them.
Yeah, but loot crate. Overwatch does this really scummy thing with their loot crates, in my opinion, where it's like the first like 23 levels you get a crate pretty, like, you know, the level grind isn't that bad, and then 23 to 100 whenever it resets is a grind. Like,
it's Blizzard. What do you expect? I mean,
it's not a fun grind.
It's just I enjoy the grind. It's just playing more games, and that level has to scale because it's a Blizzard game. So when you have people,
I'm just saying, like it gets really annoying whenever like a holiday season comes out and you can earn the holiday crates.
Sure,
but you want a specific skin.
I mean, at that
it's
point,
like unless
maybe you should look at buying it. Because here's the thing, Overwatch doesn't have to give you these skins.
Yeah, it does.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, it does.
No.
Yeah, it does.
No.
Yeah, it does.
It doesn't.
We can keep going back and forth with this. We're about to have a very heated debate.
We are.
So, what you're saying, like what you're asking me is why do I feel like Overwatch has to give me the skins?
Yeah, like if it came out,
because I paid money for the game and they're in the game, they have to give me the skins. I shouldn't have to pay more to get the skins that I want. Now, if it was a free-to-play game and had the same model with it, where it was like you get loot crates, they give you random skins, I'd be okay with that. But it's the fact that I paid $20 to $40 on this game, and I can't specifically be like, I want to earn this skin. Like,
all right, well,
there are a number of ways to alter it where it's okay.
Let me introduce this perspective to you, right? So you buy the game, you pay that initial whatever $40, get it on sale for $20. You buy that initial game, you're paying for what they initially released. Now they have people that are still working, that are still producing this stuff, that they're producing content for a game that's not on a monthly pay basis. Like World of Warcraft.
Give me the option. Give me the option to buy a specific skin.
Hold on, they do.
No, they don't. I have to buy a bunch of loot crates, get a bunch of that in-game gold crap, and then buy the skin, and that can take
hold on,
however
just hold on, let me finish.
It's not a fair model is what I'm saying.
Let me finish. To expect to be given anything new that comes out in this, because they still have to make money, because they're supporting this game. They're bringing out new content for this game, whether it be skins, whether it be...
I'm not against gaming companies making money.
I know. I would be fine if they would do that option, to instead of spending $5 to get 5 crates, if I could spend $5 to get 1,000 coins to buy whatever the thing is.
Sure.
So, yeah.
It's just like there are better models for that, where it's like League of Legends. You buy Riot points, you buy the skin you want.
You would like League of Legends, you scrub.
I don't have it installed on my new computer because I don't want the toxicity to tarnish.
I find that game, and I just, to me, I've tried getting into League of Legends. I've tried playing it. I just find that game so boring.
So I haven't found it fun since like season 4, and that was back whenever. So like I made the jungle role. So like I'm not a laner. You understand how the game works.
You go in a line, you kill people, and then you get killed, and then you go back, you buy some stuff, you try to kill them again, and then you get killed. Kill
the enemy nexus, right? So before, it was easier to carry a game if you were doing really well. You could like carry your team to victory. Whereas now, it doesn't really matter how good you are if you have a shitty player on your team. It will drag you down. Like, there's no way around it. Like, the game is like, you only win a game if your entire team does well, and that is getting 5 people to coordinate. Like, that's a hard feat to do in an arena game like that.
So on the topic of like loot boxes in games and with how companies put that in, I feel like that sort of feeds into what you were talking to me about last week, about how you think nowadays there's this thing with games acting as services.
So yeah, like games as services, it's like, to me, it's the next step in gaming. Whereas like we're transitioning into the online sphere where you don't need a physical copy of the game to own the game. Most of the content's online anyway. Like, single player still has its place, of course, but like most games are focused on multiplayer right now. So, like, take Warframe for example. Warframe as a live service, you play the game, you have access to the full game, and DE solely makes their money on how much you're willing to give them, right?
Yeah.
So I just feel like games are heading in that direction. Like, we're getting more and more good games that are services. Like, I'd argue mobile games fall into this category where it's like you have the game, you can play the game, and I mean the mobile market is they have different spectrums of like time sinks and different barriers they put up to like keep you from progressing unless you're willing to spend money. Like, those are actively trying to get money out of you, whereas like Warframe, it's like, here's a good game, give us what you think we deserve.
Right.
But you have access to the full game. And I feel like Dauntless is going to fall into that category too, where it's going to be like, here's a good game, pay us what you think this game's worth. But yeah, buy our premium currency. We're not going to sell you power, right? Like, we're going to keep it fair for everyone. And like, that's a free to play model that like games that are acting as services, they need to follow that, because it can like fall on its face a little bit. Where I'm trying to think of an example right now. There was this MMO, it wasn't Rift, but it was like that. It was on PC and Xbox. And it played like WoW, right? So it was like a free to play WoW version. But the game lost all of its player base because you could just spend money and buy like the best armor and whatever in the game. So you just buy straight power. Like, you didn't have to play the game, you could just buy power. So it drove the audience, the player audience away, because it just wasn't fun.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. Like, I think games as services are going to be around, and they're going to be here for. I think it's going to be the next stage. Just because I think physical copies they're on their death rattle. Does that make sense?
I mean, yeah, but to an extent, there's a difference. I wouldn't focus solely on the fact that this is something digitally versus something that is a physical copy, because these games that are still coming out, like for example, Zelda, I downloaded that. I don't have a physical copy. I bought that off the store.
Yeah.
But that's still a digital copy, but that doesn't fall in the line as like the games of service.
Well, no.
I think what you're looking more towards is things like MMOs specifically. I don't see this happening with any console games. I don't see this happening with AAA titles.
Okay, so if I would agree, like I'm mostly referring to like MMO games where it's like the story takes a back seat to gameplay and co-op, whatever. But like the story-based games like Zelda, what have you, those games will they're still gonna have their place. Like it's still gonna be like, here I'll give you $60, give me a good story. Yeah. Like people are still gonna buy that experience, but like whenever it comes to like replayability, like I beat Breath of the Wild. I 100%ed it. I have no desire to play that game again. You know, like.
Yeah, I mean, it just different types of games, but on that, you know, I think what we're also going to see, because online games are, I do agree with you that they're going to go more towards that direction, especially now with how much, you know, shit EA's been given and like this public uprising against loot crates, which honestly in MMOs those have been there far longer than what were in AAA games. It took a AAA game to put that in for people to be like, well, shit, we don't like this.
Yeah. Well, again, and I'll go back to my Overwatch argument where it's like, I'm paying for the game. If you're going to let me, like, I've already paid you for the game. Now, given Overwatch is a game where that's constantly being updated and whatnot, so it's like they need to have a positive revenue stream coming in, or else Overwatch will
drop off in support.
Exactly. It'll be financially crippling to the company to support the game, so they'll just drop support for it, and then they might work on a second one and then try to release that, like your Call of Duties, for example. Like that's what it is. So it's like, but the free-to-play model of, here's a good game, give us what you think we deserve, whereas if like Overwatch was a free-to-play game from the start, and then you could buy the loot crates, I'd be more inclined to buy the loot crates. But as of like right now, with Overwatch and games like Overwatch, like Battlefront 2, whatever, where it's like you bought the base game and now they want to take more from you.
Well, okay, I'll counter that with I wouldn't put Overwatch and Battlefront in the same field at all.
Oh, presently they are now, because Battlefront. Hold
on.
What?
Battlefront, when you buy the shit, buy the loot crates, you're actually buying power. Strictly with Overwatch,
right now it's cosmetic, as it is in Overwatch.
When did that change?
Like recently. Nobody gives a shit because nobody cares about that game.
So with this model being something that companies are probably gonna go towards in the future, that brings up the question of certain MMOs, right? Certain genres of MMOs, right? Because MMOs it's a very encompassing genre. I mean, because like technically, World of Warcraft is an MMO, but you know what else is an MMO? Fortnite. It's just a massively multiplayer online game. That's what an MMO is. But those subgenres, you got to look at like how long are some of these things going to be around? Like a huge question is, how much longer is WoW gonna be around? Like, how many more expansions are they going to do? Is it going to be around for another 10, 12 years? Or do they only have like 2 or 3 more expansions in them? I think the question kind of answers itself by like, look at how much Blizzard's making from that. So when Blizzard stops making money from World of Warcraft,
they'll change their model. Yeah.
But on that note, it's like, okay, well, when World of Warcraft is finished, that you're probably going to see a decline, or maybe not the entire death of a subgenre, but you won't have a game that will ever reach the peak of what WoW was in the MMORPG world.
Yeah, I think I'd have to agree. You'd have to get something totally out of left field. Like I can't fathom what would replace WoW and its legacy.
Yeah.
Like, it's 12 years running now?
12, 13.
Like, it's been around for a minute, and it's not dying.
No.
Everyone thought they were going to kill it. Like, what was that? Rift thought it was going to kill it.
Yeah, when games are being advertised as a WoW killer, yeah. I see that as, you're not going to do good.
No, yeah. What was that?
WildStar?
WildStar, that's what I was thinking of. Like, I wanted to like that game so bad.
A lot of people wanted to like that game so bad.
God.
That game did have a pretty decent following at the beginning, and then it just dropped out.
It was...
I tried playing it a little bit. I wasn't a fan.
It had a bunch of cracks in its gameplay, in its art design, in its world build. Like, it was not a WoW killer. It was never going to be a WoW killer. Like, classes weren't balanced at all. They tried to do a re-release.
Yeah.
And they went free to play. I tried playing it again. Nope. Still, like, everything was still present.
Yeah.
It was just like, there were certain classes that were OP. The lore was hard to follow. It was.
I think, just to be blunt, WoW will be the WoW killer. WoW will effectively kill itself. I mean, if you look at it, there are about 4 games, including WoW, in the MMORPG genre that are doing pretty well. And then you have your smaller games that that they do have a following, just not anything number wise, like, compared to this. So I think the next biggest MMORPG behind World of Warcraft is Final Fantasy 14. I've heard there's about 400,000, 500,000 subscribers, which 500,000 subscribers versus 9 million. I mean,
yeah,
it's kind of a jump. And then Guild Wars, and I still believe Star Wars: The Old Republic has a pretty good following. It may have dropped off. They've kind of they've screwed up that game a bit.
Yeah.
It was a good game when it first came out. Really good story. Like, BioWare is excellent with writing stories, and that was just enjoyable. I never got that same joy from any of the expansion stories that they've added in, but that's a separate conversation of its own. But yeah, I mean, and then, so that's just with MMORPGs. Then you look at these battle royale games that are getting, like, really popular, like the 2 biggest ones right now being Fortnite and PUBG.
Yeah.
I mean, for God's sakes, you have an unfinished game that has one map design that has so many bugs and flaws being put up for Game of the Year.
Oh my
competing with Zelda, which they put so much time and work into.
Oh my God.
And it's like, all right, so this is very popular. You have, I mean, just look at Twitch. Look how many viewers those games are bringing in compared to other games. I remember, like, a year ago when you would go on Twitch and Dota or League or Hearthstone would be like the top viewed games. And I'm talking about like 250,000 viewers at any given time.
Oh yeah.
And now you go on there and it's Fortnite and PUBG.
Yeah.
These games are growing in popularity immensely, even though these aren't, well, I think they're probably in recent years like the most popular, like, mainstream battle royale. Like, the genre's been around for a while.
Yeah, it has.
Maybe not to this extent, but it has. Like Unreal Tournament.
Yeah. Hell, even Minecraft had a mode where you could do like a battle royale game. Like, it's not a unique concept to PUBG.
Oh no!
And we can get into that drama between Fortnite copied PUBG and now like
I don't think. Okay, so here's how I view it with game modes and genres of games. Right, I view it the same way that I view music. You have your blatant ripoffs, but just because now there's only a limited number of musical notes that you can produce, and an even higher number, yet limited number of ways you can put these notes together to produce a sound and produce music.
Yeah.
Just because, hey, this thing sounds similar to this, they may have took inspiration from it, but not one person owns the rights to that sequence of notes to a certain extent.
Yeah.
Like, until you just rip off the entire song, I don't think it matters what came first. Battle Royale is that's what that is. You drop them in, you give them guns, have at it, right?
Yep. And see who the last one standing is.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. I mean, hell, even like King of the Hill mode in Halo, like that was a battle royale. Was
free
like
for all.
Free for all. Like
the only difference with these things is now you have a bit of a chance behind what you actually get. You know?
Yeah.
Again, I don't even think that would be considered copying, because that's how you make these things.
Yeah,
even.
That's how you innovate. Like, that makes sense to me.
Yeah, but those will be around for a while.
Oh yeah, at least Fortnite.
Yeah,
I don't think PUBG is going to be around too much longer.
We'll see. I could
give it like a year or two.
You know what I see PUBG as?
What?
And this will kind of feed into the next genre I was going to talk about. Maybe because I believe it's produced by the same company that did like H1Z1. Do you remember, like Daisy and H1Z1s and all those kind of like the...
You mean Daisy, the game I paid for that was never finished and it's been like 5 years?
Yeah, I mean, that's how PUBG's going. But yeah, like that was a pretty big genre too for a while, like the kind of survival type. It's not open world, but just that kind of idea.
Well, I mean, like the PvE mode for Fortnite is that genre where it's base building, defend against hordes of zombies.
That's even drawing the line, because you didn't have base building in any of those games. It was literally you found weapons and you killed zombies and you killed people.
Like zombie mode from Call of Duty. Yeah, like run around, get kills.
Fun game.
Huh?
That was a fun game. I really enjoyed zombies.
Yeah, that was the only reason I kept playing Call of Duty at one point. Yeah,
it's I would only buy the games that came out that had the zombie mode.
Yeah.
But that game type has pretty much, died off. It's similar enough to these kind of open world crafting survival games, which Minecraft was the leading game for that. And Minecraft in that genre is what World of Warcraft is in MMORPGs. Too many people are trying to produce something that is gonna take down Minecraft or is a better game than Minecraft, but it's when you go in there with the objective of doing something better.
Yeah.
It tends to not work out most of the time. Yeah. Go on Steam. You will see like 100 different games that are sandbox, survival, open world that just, what's the difference between your game and this game? Like you have Rust, and then you have like, what was the one? Like it was like Conan or something, where all I remember is watching people play on YouTube and just them talking about how big their dick sizes are. Like, which you could customize.
You could okay. Well, it wasn't Rust. Rust was like...
No, Rust was...
You had a character and its gender and everything else was directly tied to your gamer tag.
Yeah? Yeah.
And it was weird because they had like a bunch of glitches in it where like you could make a chick with a dick essentially.
But yeah, I mean, like, these games aren't. Minecraft will still be around for they have a huge following. They're doing well. But that genre, I think we're kind of seeing that, at least from how I'm seeing it in like my opinion, it does seem like it's on a decline. There's people pushing out all these games, but not the people to play it. Like,
yeah. Well,
it's like when your supply is bigger than your demand.
Exactly, but it's like we could look at the industry as a whole. Like, too many of these big companies are trying to make as much money, sell to the biggest audience that they can, whereas if they made a niche game, like, let's just take the horror genre for example. Like, not everyone likes playing horror games, but there is an audience that does like horror, and they will play any horror game, whatever. It's like, you can make a good horror game and profit off of just that section. It's not going to be as big of a profit as you would if you made some, wide appeal game, but you can make a good game. Like, and that's the separation between the art of game making and the industry of game making. It's like, and I would lean more towards the art side, where it's like, make the game that you want to make. It doesn't have to appeal to everyone. Like, you're going to make money off it. It's going to be fine, unless it's a terrible game.
Yeah.
But
like, if you make a game that, you're passionate about this game that you're producing, and while it's not as widespread or trying to pull in as much people as possible, you're doing the people who play your game more justice by being so passionate about it, which is why I like D so much.
Yeah.
D took a chance with Warframe. It's not something that they were just sitting here like, what's going to make us a lot of money? A sci-fi MMO. No, they've had this concept for years.
Yeah.
And they kept trying to push it out.
Yep.
And they ran into the issue of other people telling them, like, hey, what's a better genre that you should make? You should make this game.
Yeah.
And then finally, when they weren't doing good with those games at all.
No.
And once they had the ability to make the game that they wanted to make and put their passion into, it did well.
Well, the Warframe was like their Hail Mary pass
to
try to save their company. but
yeah, it's like they're passionate about it and it works. It's why World of Warcraft took off. Blizzard was passionate at the beginning about World of Warcraft. It wasn't, and you can see that. You can see with how much it's changed and Blizzard's perspective and management of the game. Like, you look at the developers now and like the community managers and whatnot, and it's just it's just not there. I can tell you're in this for the money.
Yeah. Oh, especially whenever it comes to, I don't know, Overwatch.
I will say Overwatch, with the first couple of months of Overwatch being released, they've had one of the best communities.
Exactly. Like, whenever Overwatch first came out, for sure. Now,
they've seen they've seen what they can do.
Yeah.
But I think with all this being said, we can kind of tie this back in with Warframe. Warframe fits in for what you were talking about as games as a service, and I think that it'll be around as long as there's fans around.
Oh yeah, and the player base of Warframe is, it's consistently the highest played free-to-play game on Steam. It's one of the highest played games on Steam. Like, the player base is only going to go up. Like, they do. I think what DE does better than some other companies is that they're really good at maintaining their player base, and again, they don't force you to pay anything, so you're more willing to pay. Like, does that make sense? Where it's like, hey, this is a free show, but if you want to tip us, go ahead and tip us. Like, musicians can make a career just from doing that.
Yeah.
I remember I read this story of this violinist that played in the New York Orchestra. He went and did like street performing, like in a couple corners. Like he spent like a couple hours in like one corner. He'd walk down the street and play a different one, and then he'd play like on the subway. He did that for like 3 weeks, and he made as much money as he was making in his orchestra. So it's like, if you have the talent, you have the drive, you have a good product, people are going to be willing to pay for it. But just don't force them. Like, and that's the other thing. We can talk about the game industry. Like, you know, it takes more than $60 to produce a game. I'm calling bullshit. It's like, no, it doesn't. You don't have to like charge me the default $60 for a game. Like, you can just make a good game. I'll pay you what I think it deserves, and you'll end up making a profit anyway. Case in point, Warframe, DE. They have a good game. People are willing to back it, and they're flourishing.
Yes and no. I think there's some games, specifically like like consoles, that can't do that. I mean, just think about it. If they try to release a Battlefield game and they're like, "Don't pay us what you think," you would have like those games don't have the community that Battlefield has. Or not
Okay.
Battlefield's community does not have the same community of people that something like Warframe has, where the players appreciate the developers and will put that money forward. So, plus something like that does take. There's certain level of games that do take way more people, way more money, way more time to produce, and to be able to come back and be like, "Here's this game for free. Give us what you think we deserve." A game like Battlefield would not get back what they put into it.
What they put in.
So it heavily depends on like the type of game.
Yeah.
And the company doing it.
Yeah, you're probably right for that, but
I mean, if you're able to produce a free to play game, I think that's the best way to do it. Just produce a free to play game, introduce models that aren't game breaking.
Yeah.
And then just go from there. I mean, like I view like the AAA games more so as like movies being produced. It's like you're not just gonna go see the movie and just the producers being like, "You've now seen our movies. Do you want to tip us?" Because they would lose so much money from that, like the budgets that they're.
I mean,
it's well, you're seeing that though. You're seeing that with pirating. You're seeing that right now with people that will go bootleg movies and bootleg music.
Because the filming industry is being brought down by
it's
pirates.
It's not, but there's that noticeable gap of. I'm not saying that they aren't making too much money or whatever. I personally, I don't care. That's on them, right? Mm-hmm. But in order for something to be a success and for them to continue, they need to break that even point that we've spent this much money, we need to make this much money. Like $1 more would be making a profit off that.
Exactly.
So, Yeah. But what do I know? I'm not a movie producer. I'm not a businessman. I'm just...
We're not making video games yet.
No.
We don't know what we're talking about.
We don't.